Okay, so I've never really talked about my live trap. I made this live trap last fall to try and catch some of the mice, just to maybe prevent some of them from getting in the house. It's, again, a totally live trap. I don't put water in the bottom of it. I just put bird seeds down there. You can catch multiple mice, overnight if you've got, I've got this bird feeder here, so I can get, I've woken up in the morning and I had 3 mice that I'm able to relocate. I don't kill them. It's just not who I am. Um, but as you can see, I have the mother lode of amazing critters in my live trap here. I caught the chipmunk, which makes me so happy. He's so precious, and he's so cute, but he's so destructive. He's just getting into everything. So, here he goes. I'm going to try to take him to the park, and I don't know what park at this moment, but he's going somewhere. No more driving tank crazy. Alright, so where to pick up where I left off yesterday when the camera died while I had the chipmunk in here. Here is the next morning, and we've got a mouse in here that I just found hanging upside down on the wires. So yeah, this thing is really efficient. I wish that there was more than one mouse, because that's kind of the fun of this live trap is that you can end up with more than one mouse in the live trap. So we'll take them down to the park and let them go, and just keep doing that. I keep it by my, by my vegetable garden and by this bird feeder, and yeah, at least get to reduce the population of mice in my garden a little bit. Alright, well, good morning from the garden. It's been a little while since I did a garden update, so this should be a fun one. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I can, but there is a lot going on. We had some storms come through and knock some things over, and we've got all kinds of beautiful things that are blooming and starting to produce fruit, and just some really fun and exciting things going on around the house. That's why we've had a little bit of a delay here, is we've been so busy doing projects and, yeah, taking care of the garden. So let's go. Alright, well, we can just start right over here. We have all of these, I don't know that I will plant snapdragons again. They are tall and floppy. They are falling over. They're beautiful, but I just don't like that they, I even have them sort of staked here, and they're still just not. They smell amazing. They smell like candy or something, but they're just falling over. And the beautiful patio little arrangement there. Still got this mortgage lifter that's over here that's just producing crazy amounts of green tomatoes. We haven't had any red tomatoes yet, but I'm feeling pretty confident that one of these should turn relatively soon. That's a big guy, and I think that the general rule of thumb is around a month, 4 to 5 weeks before you get to harvest fruit from the time that you see it set. So it's been at least a month for some of these down here, and yeah, some of these guys up here. So that's going to be exciting. Over here, these lilies are beautiful, as I think I showed in a previous video, but the storm really kicked the crap out of them. So now they're staked in their little groups of lilies, which isn't quite as pretty, but it's they're still beautiful. All of this starting to really take off. These dahlias, they're so crazy. I'll show you the ones over there that are just getting huge. So that one still hasn't quite bloomed yet. We got my little hosta in full bloom there, and the one behind looks like it. I just divided the one in behind this year, so looks like he isn't going to do a whole lot of blooming, but that's completely acceptable too. The elephant ears coming up and really starting to fill in this fun little place. I'm excited to see those come in, and to be frank, to make some stepping stones out of elephant ear leaves once they get big enough. Coming over here, we've got all of these hostas. I did fill in this little area with this, what I thought was a really tall hosta. I guess I didn't realize how tall this hosta is, but we filled in this little open area with that hosta, and as time goes on, hopefully it will fill that in nice. Sorry if it's jumping around a little bit. I am being mauled by mosquitoes this morning. That's gonna open today. I mean, look at how big that bloom is. I am so happy to see how this plant is thriving in this spot. I've always looked for a spot, and when those blooms open, you'll see how gorgeous it is. That just so happy that has a place that it's gonna bloom and thrive. So. These beans are doing really well. These are just the ones that I thought were bush beans, but turned out to be pole beans and are headed up the trellis. I think down here we have a few little beans that are forming, so that's nice to see. I haven't had any beans yet out of my garden. Looks like over here we have this is the honey bear squash plant. So we've got a honey bear squash that's starting to form over here. I did buy some organic powdery mildew control spray that I've been spraying on these to try and keep the powdery mildew under control. I do have a lot of problems with that when it comes to squash type plants. You know, anything that's susceptible to that, I do have a problem with that. So we already lost the zucchini to powdery mildew. It's like the second it immediately just must have come with it. It was terrible. So Bill was nice enough to pull that out for me, and then we've got the honey nut squash that's headed up the trellis here, and we have a ton of fruit setting on it. Again, very strange that I'm getting only female flowers, but this, I don't know. I'm confused. I might need to do some more research on this. Oh my goodness, the wrens are over here yelling at us. I might need to do some more research, because it does look like, even though there were no male flowers, I mean, it's not dead yet, so hopefully that will continue to grow. We'll see. It's an interesting plant that is growing across over here. I do keep having to tell it to go up the trellis. It doesn't want to climb the trellis very well. Well, I'll fix that when I'm not filming. We got the, oop, I'm stepping on something behind here. We've got these little tomatoes that are, these are supposed to be Baker Creek mini bells. So that's not super mini, but I don't know how much taller it's going to get. We'll find out. It is starting to flower a little bit. Oops, sorry. It's starting to flower a little bit, so we'll see. These were some that I found on the growing table that I let go for a little too long, so they're catching up. And I have no hope for this Kajari melon. Like, you know, it's been breaking my heart, but it's almost like it's making a comeback in this heat. It's loving it, so we'll see. Got my sad mouse. Here's the sad mouse waiting for me to take it to the park. I will take it to the park soon. I don't believe in leaving them to suffer, but I'm going to finish up what I'm doing over here. We do have finally some fruit set on the, and I don't know, some beans set on the Sunset Runner beans. So there's some little beans and a bean over here, some over here, lots and lots of flower. Get a good view of it with all of its flowers. Oh, the mosquitoes are thick this morning. One of the red-skin dahlias that's starting to bloom. Just this beautiful peachy, pink, yellow bloom. And we've got like 5 of them in here. Again, just huge, beautiful plants. So that's a wonderful thing to see. These tomato plants that are reaching up over the fence over here really just taking off. I spent 3 hours yesterday tying up tall tomato plants and getting those all ready. Back here is the cannas that are really starting to come up and hopefully going to fill in this area really well. We've got the sunflowers that are growing up over the fence and, you know, getting huge. So the fence is always a good indication of how tall things are. It's a 6-foot fence, so I did have to tie them up after the storm the other day. Just a ton of rain and with some wind, so hopefully nothing breaks. The blueberries are starting to blueberry. I've already had a handful come off of them, and it looks like today I get to harvest another handful of them. So not that I'm going to get a whole bunch of blueberries off of these plants, but I do have very healthy blueberry plants now, and that's a great thing to see. A little bit of an update on the trumpet vine that I haven't shown for a few weeks. It is starting to recover. I have done nothing. I am not touching it. I think it doesn't want to be mothered, and maybe I was mothering it too much. So I've just been leaving it alone and letting it fill in again. It's definitely a lot smaller than it was last year, but hopefully it's recovering from whatever happened to it. It does look like that back branch died for whatever reason, but that's okay. And over here, this garden is really filling in beautifully. The calendula is still not recovered very well for me tying it up. You know, usually plants will, you know, once you tie them up, then they kind of fill in that area again. This one still just looks like it's tied up. So I don't know what to think of these plants. I love the flowers. I love being able to dry them, but I don't know if they're like a showcase in the garden. This is a surprise lily. So I had purchased these lilies as unlabeled at the garden center, not knowing what color they were going to be. It's the same with that one, that I don't know what. Now that one looks like it might have some pink to it, and yes, that's a mosquito biting me. But this white one has just turned out stunning. It's got like a burgundy brown edge on it. Oh, it's just so beautiful. It's been a great addition to the lily area over here. And then my favorite lilies are just in full bloom, and they do so well. They're so pretty. I just love them. Hopefully those will just keep propagating and get more and more and more, because here's one little one. We got a little one growing. Must be a yearling. So that's really fun. Looks like since yesterday the echinacea started opening, so that will really attract a ton of pollinators. The bees and butterflies just love it so much, and yeah, it's going to get really big and really full, so I'm going to have to tie this stuff up too. It'll take over the whole path here. It looks like this. This is one of my beautiful daylilies. I have a really beautiful selection of different daylilies, and this one is just by far one of my favorites, just with its just crazy how fun it is. It, you know, it's almost got like an iridescent purple hue to it, and oops, sorry, just a beautiful daylily. Now I am gonna really try to keep this weeded and keep it. It was struggling back here because it was so overgrown. So we're getting there though. I did have my first tomato come off of one of these plants that is a 4th of July tomato. So that was yesterday, day before yesterday. It's a saladette, so I haven't had any slicers yet, but I did have that medium-sized one. I do think that over on that other plant over there, we should have some sun golds, and we might be able to harvest those today. The sunflowers are doing really well, these little lemon sunflowers, and then up here it looks like, and I mean, this is way taller than I am. I don't know if I could even maybe flip down and use this. Yeah, I can't get up there. I can't get the camera up there high enough, but that is the mammoth sunflower, and I see petals. So I do see a little bit of damage on this too. So I don't know what's going on with this one. I did check the other 4 on the other side and they don't have that damage, so that's good. And here is the silly excitement from the garden. These are the first sun golds that I've ever grown that are ready to pick. I think they're ready to pick. I mean, it just pops right off of there. Oh, that's so exciting. I'm gonna try them. I've never been a fresh tomato eater, but I think I'm gonna try them this year. I'm not gonna do it on camera just in case I don't like them. Here's the round garden. I used air quotes because I know it's not round anymore, but it is really starting to fill in beautifully. The tree lilies are still very short. These are generally a 6-foot tall lily. They're about 3 feet tall and looking like they're thinking about blooming, so I don't think they're going to get any taller than that this year. I'm not sure what happened to them. Just a hard winter, I think. These are those dahlias that I was mentioning of how crazy they're growing. So we've got short, medium, one that's 3 feet tall, almost as tall as the lilies. I don't know. I mean, I'm not complaining that I have big, tall, healthy plants, but I didn't expect them to be that tall, but hopefully we'll be able to see how beautiful those blooms are. I love these salvias. They're annual salvias, and it just really shows how gorgeous they fill in this area, and they're just such pretty flowers and constant blooms, and it just attracts all kinds of hummingbirds and bees and pollinators, and it should bloom like this until fall. So it's a fun little strip of red I always put in the garden. Still patiently waiting for the Chinese lanterns to bloom, but they do look healthy and they're starting to get big. So I really don't actually know how large the plants actually are, so wait and see. Over here we have just an explosion of growth. Again, there's probably a good chance we won't be walking through this garden or be able to see through this garden as the summer goes on, and that's a great problem to have. We have some daylilies down here that are going to start blooming soon, and those are just beautiful daylilies too. The zinnias are really taking off and just blooming all over the place back here. I don't even know if I can get far enough away from them. These are the castor beans that are in that pot back there that are getting huge. The leaves are, probably almost 24 inches across, that one, and just filling in that pot so beautifully. It's just such a fun plant. I think I saw one that was starting to bloom too, which, they get little castor beans on them. So I don't know if that's going to focus on it. Oh, there it is. So those will get little flowers with little fuzzy red seeds that kind of are pokey, to be honest on it. I do cut those off sometimes just to make the plant continue to grow bigger, but I don't know if I will this year. They're growing really well. More zinnias. We've got these zinnias over here. We've got the milkweed back here. I have seen monarchs laying eggs on here, and one of the projects that's made me so late on getting the video is that we rebuilt the butterfly house, and it's almost done. We just have some finishing touches to do to it. Need to go get a few more, a little bit more hardware, and it should be good. So it's going to be a fun year for the butterflies and the caterpillars for that. So it won't be long now before I'm going to be overrun with caterpillars, I guess I should say. Just beautiful dahlias that are still, that one's the only one. These guys haven't quite started blooming. I don't know what colors they'll be. Sounds like we're going to have the wren singing to us while we walk through the rest of the garden. So I don't know if you can see her in there. She is right in there, wiggling around. And the reason that she's doing that in that little tree right there is because her white house right here, that's where they've done their second brood of babies for the summer. So they're in there and have been running in and out, and maybe starting to feed some small babies. I'm not sure for sure, but she'll just sit there and sing next to me to try and distract me from her house. So um, here's some possibly fun. Oh, look at that. So hopefully the camera can focus on that. That is a baby monarch right there. So we really need to get this butterfly house built and get these guys into safety where predators and things can't eat them. That hoverfly is probably a predator. There's a lot of different things that you wouldn't think of that will eat the baby caterpillars. Having a few problems. This is a good thing to show the problems too. Having a few problems with the lobelia up here. I'm actually having a hard time with all of my lobelia. None of it's growing very well. It's not. Maybe it's not liking this heat or whatever, but the second tier of my green stalk planter basically died. So I'm gonna have to give the green stalk some love here and probably go buy some annuals to pop in there and maybe tie up these dahlias around it. I seriously, in the past, my dahlias have never gotten more than, maybe 12 to 18 inches tall. None of them have done this. I mean, those are almost 3 feet tall I had no idea. This is starting to very slowly grow up we've never had it take this long, or it's just been a weird summer for the mandevilla, so hopefully it continues to grow and doesn't just leave this huge monstrosity up here. Things happen. Back here is the sorry, I got distracted by a tomato plant that fell over. Back here is the herb garden, and it's really filling in nice and all kinds of things. I have taken some things in and started dehydrating them. Some basil and some cilantro and some parsley. So that's really nice. Oh, look it. This is the first one. What color is it? Oh, it's a beautiful red. That's wonderful. So that's the first bloom off of that plant. So we've got red on one side and pink on the other. Yeah, this is starting to take off. We really need probably some more rain, and I think it is supposed to rain hard today. So that's good. I did see that the pepper plant has lost its mind growing peppers. So we're going to need to figure out what to do with some of these peppers. That's a lot of peppers in there. And what a healthy, happy plant. And, it's always a great problem to have to find something to do with extra vegetables. So I like it. I'm sure that I will show the video from the other day that we finally have our flying squirrel back in she's living back into the birdhouse back here, and we love having her. She doesn't cause any problems in my garden, and she just hangs out and is super cute. These really hot days, she will actually hang her head out of the house and, pant and just try to get some air during the day, because she is very nocturnal, so she sleeps during the day. So she's all up in there right now, but she's sleeping, so I will not be poking her with a stick to try and get her out of there. Bill will be proud. I have been known to accidentally poke her with a stick. The onions, the progress of my onions, that I didn't think anything was going to happen, so I know that they still look ridiculous and that they're, falling over and all of that, but I am like thrilled to see that there are onions onioning in there. So I'm at least going to get a couple of onions that I can use in my salsa. And that was my goal, has been to be able to say that I grew everything in my salsa, and to have it be all homegrown. It's been a struggle to get the cilantro to go, and I was worried about the onions, so a silly goal, but hopefully I will be able to attain it. Here is the the vegetable patch back here with all of the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and everything is just exploding back here with growth. Over here are the cucumbers going up, and we do have some cucumbers set on it. There's those are the Market Moors, I think, over there. Over here, the straight 8 cucumbers coming up. So I had to train some of the lemon cukes. Yesterday I noticed that they were headed through the garden, so I sent them up the trellis yesterday, but these are almost to the top of the trellis already. Over here is one of the solar flare tomatoes that's still not turning colors yet, but it is, or it's, you know, it's not blushing yet, but it is kind of starting to get really striped, so that's fun. There's a few more tomatoes that are starting to form up on top up here. So we have a dog that has cornered something back here. Let's see what we can find. What you doing back there? What you doing back here? Oh, do you think there's something in here? Did you want to see in there? Yeah? Hi, bud. Oh my. Do you think there might be something in there? He's a hunter dog. He's a hunter dog. I thought the neighbor was home or something, making all the noise over here. Oh, it's Tank. Where is he? Where did he go? Where is he? Where is he? Can you show me where he is? Show me where he is. I want it to go that way. Alright. Don't bite it. Well, whatever it was. Oh, there's a mouse. Tank, get out of there. There's a mouse nest under there with the little mouse running around. Okay. So let's see if I can catch this mouse with a coffee can. If I can't, that's okay too. Come here. I can't hold it and catch him. Like, he's right there. I just went this way. Oh! He just popped out right here. Tank, no! Ah! Leave it! Tank, no! Ah! It's on my leg! Oh, crap! Get in there! Get in there and hide! Get in there and hide! Oh my god, that is totally worth the video, right? Tank, get out of there! Get! Get! I need to make sure there's no babies in there. Okay. Well, that was exciting. I try to play like I'm cool and like I'm okay with mice and stuff, but yeah, that thing running at my foot probably made me squeal louder than I meant for it to. Anyways, we've got the mouse caught. So back here we have the begonias really starting to flower, and the bee balm also starting to open, and the bumblebees couldn't be more excited. They are everywhere in here, and it's just, I love this plant. It's pretty ugly. I mean, it's probably not the prettiest plant ever, but it grows without trouble. It comes up every year. It doesn't seem to be affected by any diseases or anything, and pollinators enjoy it. There's a little bit more bee balm that's over here. We had a big tree branch fall the other day in the storm, and it kind of came through and smushed all through here. So this got a little bit smushed, but it'll recover. Just looking at the fun little tiny bees. I love them. I love how when you look real close, a lot of these flowers just seem alive with little bees in them that are just working away. So, all right, well, thank you for going on our garden tour, and thank you for watching, and enjoy your day.